I'm Dave. I'm Bob's son, in case you haven't figured that one out. Alright, thank you very much for the speeches that we have had so far. Thank you to everybody who could make it here today. My God, I'm bricking it, mate. Just hit me. No, it's touching to see a variety of people. It's touching to see a variety of people from different walks of Bob and Debbie's life. Old friends, new friends, borrowed friends, blue friends. Family members from my side, it's lovely to see as always. Family members from Debbie's side, I've known since I was 9 years old. So, thank you to the page boy, Kai, and the flower girl, Mia. Where are they? Alright, can I just say, without you, this whole operation would quite simply fall apart. So, good job. Thank you to the ushers, Will and Sean, for working on your day off. Thank you to Ivor for giving your mother giving your mother away today in such a graceful fashion, unlike this. Considering the fact that when I met you, you couldn't sit still for 5 seconds, mate. Thank you to Mark for sticking by my dad, being a true friend and brother. And finally making the difficult decisions to give up the dreams of you two finally being together one day. Take strength. Right, thank you to the bridesmaids for the great effort that you made today by keeping Debbie from fainting, somehow making her look even more out of his league. Okay, you're going to have to start putting your hands up because I'm going to thank you personally. Helen and Emma. Is Helen there? Where's Emma? Yep. Who have been close friends to both of them for years. I know because I've known them since I was even younger than they're looking today. Thank you, Kirsty, for being one of the few things that would stop Mark and Dad from adopting. I'm sorry, Mark, this is the next hour and a half of material now. Thank you to Amy, working as the bride helper today. Not quite bridesmaid, as well. Yeah. And for being living proof that they have actually made at least one friend since moving to Wrexham. But I still have no proof. Okay, well, I have proof there, but I was going to say I don't have proof they didn't hire you, love, so. Finally, to my wonderful sister, Sian Roberts. I know, that name is Welsh as hell, so I think I'm going to thank you for being such a significant part of the journey that we're celebrating today, Sian. And of course, thank you to my dad and Debbie for having me here today as one half of the Best Man team. Debbie is looking stunning as always, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this so I can get busy with a half-an-hour philosophical talk with you. Inside joke. Dad, you don't look a day older than the handsome lady killer you were when I met you. Alright. When my sister and I were little, Dad used to swing us around to the classical music of William Tell. To his reluctance, we demanded that he would swing around our teddy bears as well, in the same way, on the argument that if we enjoyed it, they had to enjoy it too. I can't tell you standing here today how much I love to see him doing that. Throwing around teddy bears wearing Victorian gowns to please small children. Because at least now we have the technology to take a picture on the phone, you know. I can imagine then in that dark age of 1997, he was thinking he'd better either make this much of an ass out of himself one day or give me some decent commiserations when I need it the most. Oh, guess I'm gonna do both. No, it's a great thing to be a son, dad, and take the role that would usually go to a friend and a peer. Best man, you know. However, there have been moments where I believe I've taken on the role. Firstly, at the age of 6, Dad said to me for the first time, quote, "When are you going to buy your old man a pint?" The only thing that was missing from that sentence was, "This question is your life now." Bang on 20 years later, I still have an upper fuse out of principle. At about 10 or so, I crashed at his place with just me, him and Sean, to actually formally meet Debbie in his bed the next morning. Debbie, his shirt looked great on you. In spite of moments like this, there have obviously been some moments of genuine fatherhood. When I was in year 4 and I wasn't fit to go to school one day, Dad wrote a letter to my teacher. Give this. Dear Miss Cunliffe, David may struggle with his work today as a clock has fallen on his head. If he starts acting peculiar or saying anything out of the ordinary, please let me know immediately. When I moved back home from university, Dad drove me all the way from Wales to High Wycombe to load my things into his car and then drive me back to Croydon. I can't say that I repaid that favour as a son because he was greeted that afternoon to a half-pissed 21-year-old that he had just woken up by banging on the door profusely, who had not packed anything, so he actually packed for me. Cheers. I would like to say that I'd make it up to you one day, but I see that as payback for you somehow driving to see us one Christmas morning in the same state. This is pretty bad, guys. That was appropriate use of the phrase "Merry Christmas." Well, can you go up a little bit because I've got it right in my lips. I've often asked Dad what is the romantic story of how he met Debbie. He always seems to reply with 3 simple words: "I sacked her."
True story.
Yeah. Debbie worked with Dad in the Bedford Tavern, later moving in together there. Clearly, after he sacked her all those years ago, that place was tainted. So they jumped ship to Mitcham and they worked together in the Burn Bullet. Together, they completely turned the place around from a pub with a variety of issues to a place that they can proudly show you their achievements. Unless their achievements are hidden behind the boxes they never unpacked. Another inside joke. This time was a bit of a golden age for Dad and Debbie's relationship. They'd been together for a few years. They worked together professionally, and my sister and I spent time with you both doing it. Things changed somewhat when a series of circumstances set them up to Wrexham. Though I've seen less of my dad, our relationship has remained close, and that's why I am standing here today. I'm sure that if they never did move to Wrexham, a fair number of people wouldn't be here today either. I want to say maybe over there. I mean, you'd be here anyway, but... I told you, hour and a half. Since they did move up, there have been some ups and downs. Unfortunately, Rosemary and Doug, Dad's parents, are not with us here today. I'm sure that they'd tell you how proud they are of you and how far you have come. From North Wales to South Wales is one hell of a journey, mate. I can tell you that though they're not here, Dad, through your kindness and ethics and morals, they are alive through you. As you can tell, things change, sometimes seemingly too quickly and rapidly for us. Days like today remind us to enjoy it for what it's worth and embrace new journeys on the road ahead of us. We can fondly look at the past and show how it's built our characters and paved the way for what is to come in the future. For example, bonding time between Dad Sean and I at one time consisted of playing the PlayStation 1 game Ape Escape. We named the file Dabos. The D and the A from my name, the B and the O from Dad's name, and the S from Sean's. Now, as our family expands to Debbie and Ivor, I took the time to find an anagram of all of our names together. Quite tastefully, it spells avoid Bob's vibes. I think it's trying to give us some advice for the events at the reception later, to be honest. Speaking of Bob's vibes, it should probably be avoided. I'm not sure if he's ever told you about the time that he took my sister and I to a park in Croydon. I think that we were about 9 and 11, and it was when Dad and Debbie had pretty much just started going out, so bear in mind that he did have to make one hell of an impression here. I brought my scooter with me. So I could ride it up and down a rather steep hill. At the end of the steep hill was a cafe with flower pots hanging from the roof. I rode it up and down several times without a bump or a scratch, as did my sister. Dad decided to go from the very top of the hill to the very bottom of the hill at full speed, whilst being completely oblivious of the braking mechanism on the scooter. Not knowing what on earth to do to make it stop, he panicked and jumped off, flailing his arms around in the air. As he jumped off, his hand smacked one of the hanging baskets, causing it to fly off and break into pieces. The woman working at the cafe naturally was furious. Never once at the pre-adolescent children, but so blatantly at their father that she drew the conclusion, and I quote, this is real. There are more delinquent parents than there are children. Could someone pass my champagne? I think this is how I know that Bob and Debbie are made for each other, because you think, how did Debbie react to the story so early on in their relationship? Uncertainty, or shock, or disgust? Nah, she laughed. Please join me in a toast to the bride and groom. Bride and groom. Drop the mic.